Before we get into the news at hand and everything that we missed on, there is a big presence that has left the art scene here in Philadelphia and the radio scene. It's, you know me, I worked for WMMR. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It was a rough couple of weeks because one of our heroes, one of our legendary personalities passed away very unexpectedly as well. I mean, I know he was 70, but he was in fine health as far as we knew. And I actually, the last time I saw him was when I was in Preston and Steve, and I was promoting the game show marathon, and he seemed very fine. He was his usual self. He asked me a lot about the game show marathon and how I was doing, and it's with a heavy heart that I had this happen, and it's funny. I had a couple weeks to think about this, and I still am a little bit choked up at that headline that Pierre Robert, the legendary, iconic DJ for WMMR for 40 years, almost 40 years. I mean, these numbers just don't make sense in the current media climate. Like, we are never going to see a career like this from anybody anymore. Unfortunately, yeah, he passed away. It was like a week after we did our season finale, and I was just heartbroken over it. And it was just one of those things you just saw, like, so much outpouring for WMMR, for Preston and Steve. It definitely kind of was a sign that we all grieved a little bit together. But it was just something that really it stopped me in my tracks. I don't know what I was even doing that day when I heard the news break, but I just stopped. It was just one of those weird scenarios that was just like, I can't believe a man of his stature is just gone all of a sudden. And again, legend is a word that's thrown around a lot. Pierre Robert is a true legend. Between all of the interviews he did, all of the work that he did for Philadelphia radio, his storied career, again, it's going to be something that we're never going to see ever again. That stay at one radio station, never changing formats, never changing his shtick or his personality or anything like that. I mean, it's unheard of in radio. And I got the chance, I was lucky to work with him during my time at WMMR for almost 10 years. And he was just always he was just a wonderful guy to be around. And he loved every bit of being on the radio with his fans, talking to everybody in the studio. And it's going to be a presence that is not going to be filled. That won't be filled for quite some time at WMMR. And it was definitely shocking to hear that news, and it felt like a significant presence left the city of brotherly love when that news aired. And it's tough, but I think the people that are still there at WMMR, I think they've done a great job of honoring his legacy, of trying to pick up the pieces and move on. You could hear it, boy, I mean, it was one of those things you had to tune in to Preston and Steve the following day and the day after, and you could just hear the heartbreak in their voices, and all the calls they got, all the celebrities that was another thing too. All the celebrities that randomly just picked up the phone and called WMMR. Like, think about, like, Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins, Bon Jovi. Like, they went out of their way to call WMMR to let them know, like, what that what Pierre Robert meant to them and the
Yeah.
passing of it. It just felt so surreal, and it definitely felt like a legacy has officially been closed with the passing of Pierre Robert. But I also at the same time, though, very much appreciate the fact that I got to work with him for that decade that I was with MMR. It was a privilege that I got to know him behind the scenes, and that he was so personable to me. And he was definitely someone to admire and to look up to when it came to doing what I wanted to do on radio, doing what I wanted to do on the podcast, and doing what I wanted to do at Game Show Marathon, which he took a very big interest in. He loved the idea of it. He thought it was so niche, and he thought it was such a great idea to take the ball and run with it. And that's what we've been doing for the Game Show Marathon now for a decade as well. It's just it was a very it felt like just like you got punched in the gut over and over again when that news broke. And we're gonna miss Pierre Robert, but I do feel very fortunate that I got to work with him. I have memories, I have stories, but yeah, it was definitely a day that I won't forget. That when I just heard that news, everything just stopped. It was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe the news when that broke. So I just wanted to take some time. I definitely wanted to at least honor it, because unfortunately we were on a hiatus. I couldn't talk about it on the podcast. But yeah, it was a shocking headline when I heard the news. But he was just, I'm here to tell you, he was exactly what you thought of. He was so kind, so personable. And yeah, we're all gonna miss him. He was just a great DJ, a great media personality, great person, Pierre Robert. And I think it's the best way I can frame it all together in one sentence, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you did a fantastic job of summing up a true Philadelphia legend and a radio show legend as well. One of the last great disc jockeys.
I would argue the last great when I made the social media. If you checked on my social media feed, I quoted Tom Petty, the Tom Petty song, "The Last DJ."
Yeah,
it really does feel like he was the last true.
44 years at MMR.
Yeah, exactly. He was the last true radio DJ. All right, but I don't want to be all sad. And a matter of fact, there is something that I think we could use to cheer everybody up that would honor Pierre's legacy. And that is the fact I went back into my archives, and I couldn't believe this. It made me laugh. I actually found something. I worked for MMR. I was interning with Preston and Steve. Even though I knew Pierre, we didn't have a lot of on-air bits. But I found this clip where Pierre was in the studio, and we were upgrading to a new computer system to use all the music and all the commercial feeds and everything like that. And I was part of the group, the engineering group there. I was trying to help out, make it a smooth transition. And Pierre messed up, of course. You're going to mess up, when you're learning a new system.
Yeah.
And of course, you got to do it on the air. You got to do it live. There's no testing ground for the new system, right?
Right.
So I found this audio of him messing up, and you can hear me laugh in the background on this clip. And it just, you know what? It was like one of those things. It was like, I don't know what made me save it. I'm glad I did. But this might be the only time. I don't know. Maybe I was on the air with Pierre at some point. But as far as I know, this is the only direct time I was on the air with Pierre Robert at the same time. You can hear me laugh in the background with Pierre's mess up. And I want to play it for you guys. So here you go. This is my audio that I was able to store in my archives. of Pierre's mess up. Here is the clip.
As the double shot was fading.
You didn't put it into manual mode and then you went into panic mode.
Right.
Okay, I got you. So
Okay.
we've got to.
Thank
We
God.
gotta do what we
Thank
call
God for Jason.
restore.
Let's restore and refresh. Anyway, that was a double shot. What are you laughing at? Stop laughing. They're all laughing at me in the other room. Oh, laughing at Grandpa working the computer, are you? Well, go F yourselves. And I say that with all peace and love of a hippie. F off. You little bastards. I love them. I love those kids. I love them. Laughing at me, trying to work the new fancy thinking box. Yeah, little kids, so smart. You come in and try it, you little weasels. I find that so funny. Anyway, am I restored? You're good to go. All right. Now where was I? Where the hell am I? All right. Now we're going to, after that double shot of the Peppers and double shot of Van Halen and double
There you go. Yep. There you go. One of my few times I was on the air with Pierre Robert. You can hear me in the background. And I don't know why. It got me when he said, we're ready to refresh. And I'm like, who? What DJ says that after we're ready to refresh? What? We're refresh in the afternoon? What is that, Pierre? The hell kind of save was that?
Refresh.
Ready to refresh. I don't know. That got me, and I couldn't stop laughing. And then he takes it off on me, calling us little pricks there and everything. But he's, I do appreciate, though, he also said that he loved all of us and everything there. So that also, that was a nice little way to end that segment. So in conclusion, I will miss Pierre Robert, and I'm sure everybody else here in Philadelphia will as well. Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the legacy. And may the spirit of Pierre Robert be in all of us.